Well, this one had fans losing their breath down the stretch, but either way, the fellas, they locked down the win to make it 4-0 in the last 4 series openers. And PCA, well, we saw that vulgar display of power once again. 5 pumps in the last 6 games. If you don't like that, how about 11 over his last 20 for his 17th home run of the season? We also saw Dansby Swanson getting on the phone after he had that quick conversation on Friday as well as Saturday with our guy Cliff. The bat, it is singing. The fellas, a huge W than our 12-5 versus the National League East. So let's get this show on the road. You just checked in with us right here on Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Yuengling Flight, the next generation of light beer. Cole Wright Elise Menaker at your service, and this was a huge win. The Cubs, they jumped all over Kodai Senga as they were supposed to, Elise.
Yeah, exactly. Taking advantage of the walks from him, and then when you have guys on, hitting them in. I think especially right now when you have this combination, Dansby looks better at the plate. You were just highlighting maybe making some changes after talking to Cliff. I don't know. We'll see as the season continues. But his at-bats look better, the making of contact, hard contact, and then when you have him 9th right now and then turning it over to the top, which Pete is the hottest hitter on the team, best hitter on the team right now, then...
Just on the team or in Major League Baseball?
You could argue, yeah, probably also in Major League Baseball, the way he's been playing.
Absolutely
after
red
also
hot.
winning Player of the Week again.
Yeah, Player of the Week, 2 out of the last 3. And he's been playing like a pure professional. That gets us to our professional grade plays presented by your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana GMC dealers. Pete! Oh, that one absolutely labeled. You see it right there. That's a jackpot. It's worth a whole lot more than
bomb skate.
$2,885. Pete has seen the ball. Everything's starting to slow down just a little bit. He told us just the other day it's about being as repeatable as possible. If he can continue to repeat this, something tells me he may be back-to-back a 30-30 this season. 11 home runs since May 30th. Who's he leading?
Look at the swing.
Who's he leading? Everybody. Those hands, they are ready and on the attack. And right now, T-Mac, she's attacking this interview with Pete.
Thank you. Another home run for you. What's the best part about showing up to the ballpark when you're going like this offensively?
Just getting another crack at it with the guys every day. Just a lot of really good at-bats today, so it's easy to hit when guys are on base, and we're just making guys work again. It feels good. So, I love showing up to the park just to see my boys and go at it with them.
We're starting to see the power show up for Dansby Swanson. What have you seen from his at-bats lately?
The power has been there all year, really. He got off to a pretty hot start hitting homers. But no, he's putting in really good work in the cage, and I think tackling the necessary things to keep it pushing this year. Just really good at bats from him over the last couple days, and definitely trending in the right direction for sure.
Weird play in the 7th inning on second there. What explanation did they give you?
No comment.
Thank you.
I wonder if that's Pete saying no comment, or when he asked for an explanation, they said, Pete, no comment on the actual play. That's not necessarily really what happened, but just the way that Pete's been playing as of late. You take all that nonsense out of the equation and just focus on what he's done inside of that batter's box and in the big field. This guy, he's on a heater, at least.
Yeah, and I feel like you always see the emotion, and maybe there's some frustration from Pete because he wants to take advantage of every situation. You even saw late in the game striking out. Like, he wants to always be on. And that is what he has been recently, more often than not. These are the swings that you're now seeing from Pete. And really, he's hitting all types of pitches. So with this new swing, I see someone who's loose, who's athletic, who's confident. When you mention the repeatable, like the repeatability of this swing, I think that's what you're always searching for as a player. When you have the mechanics, when you have the confidence that you're in a good spot, that your timing is right, and it really doesn't matter what a pitcher is throwing, you just go up to the plate and you go do it.
Are these numbers, are they serious? Carson Wolf always throwing out some unbelievable nuggets. You see Pete, 1447 OPS this June, ranked as the 2nd highest OPS by a Cub in a single month. Rogers Hornsby, 1448 in September of 1929.
Wow.
We're talking pre-World War II stuff, Elise. This is serious. PCA definitely putting himself in a new stratosphere. Fans, they continue to talk about him, and there's good reason why. Most home runs in a 20-game span. Pete, right there, hot on the heels of the one and only number 14, Ernie Banks, Mr. Cub. Back in 1955, he was seeing that ball at an unbelievable rate, and that excludes the overlapping spans. As you see right there, PCA out in front of KB. Ernie Banks again, and Bob Spake, unbelievable. We can continue to tell everybody just how good he is, but when you see him every single night, it really sinks in, doesn't it?
You know what? I'm a believer, too. I don't think he'd be where he is without going through what he went through. Because if you remember, there was a span where he was talking about, you're seeing right now where the physical isn't there because mentally, like, I'm trying to figure this out.
Sure.
And so in this game, I always love following the adversity that players go through and how they respond. And I think that's what you're seeing a younger player here go through, is someone who had to kind of have the down before the up, because you just have to learn how to deal with that stuff. And then once you do, now you're better for it, because you could argue as this stuff was happening, as he was coming along, there was still a lot of pressure being put on him. This was before the offense really started clicking in the last week or so. And so he was kind of the guy. That's when we had the PCA game, because he was really one of the only guys hitting on the team. You could add Michael Bush in that conversation, who does that quietly, but we just highlighted the numbers that Pete is putting up. And that's why we talk about him, because he's just doing some unreal things. And so that's what I find, that you see a younger player maturing, how to handle situations, how to handle the game, how to handle at bats. We talk about the plate discipline, the mechanical changes, a lot being thrown at him, but I think he's finding his stride in just how to attack each day. And maybe just going back to the fact that I think something he always says is just now going out there and having fun. Yeah. Right? Like, that's just part of it. Just being loose, having fun, letting the game come to him, and not trying to force everything to happen always.
Yeah, with age comes the realization that there are peaks and valleys in every single baseball season. He hasn't taken it personal. He's taken the bitter with the sweet. I don't know if he's a big Jermaine Jackson fan, but either way, he has applied that mantra to his thinking. Now we're moving things along. We're going with our Make Life Brighter moment of the evening, presented by Pella Windows Indoors. And who are we going with? This dude right here. Dansby Swanson. See the ball, hit the ball. It's a simple philosophy, but sometimes it doesn't always register. But since Friday, that's all he's been able to do, is make solid, hard contact. Dansby Swanson, maybe sooner rather than later, that's what we're seeing right now.
You know, the home run last week, you were thinking, like, can one swing turn things around? Can that be showing you that he's onto something? And I think now, officially, as you watch the at-bats, more so it's less about almost the results and more just the at-bats that we're seeing, the contact, the fouling off the pitches, and then the results do come. Because he had mentioned last week, after that home run, that he had been putting in the work. He had felt better about the work that he was putting in, being put in uncomfortable situations by this coaching staff, meaning almost trying to break some habits that he had developed that maybe weren't working for him anymore, maybe some bad habits that he developed. And he said, I don't want to reveal any secrets. So he didn't give details, really, but was highlighting more, look, I have felt really good about the work that I'm putting in. Even sometimes if the results haven't been there, then he gets the home run, and then we're starting to see the at-bats, where especially if he's down in that 9 spot, turning it over, that's what you need. I mean, you need production. When this offense has been really good over the last couple of years, it's because you're getting production 1 through 9. Okay. And so he's part of that.
Well, the secret to Dansby's success, I don't know if it's necessarily what happened on Friday and Saturday, but Dansby came
This is what you were talking about.
Had a quick conversation. It was just two major league hitters talking, hitting right
I love
there.
This.
They were joking around. They were talking about all the things that make the game easier, and you see it. You've seen Dansby. Looks like he has a much more loose approach, just going there, seeing the ball, and hitting the ball. And we've seen that since Friday, Saturday, and today as well.
I think that's probably been one of the more interesting things, and in a weird way, one of the more enjoyable things to watch, as Dansby has been going through these struggles. I think I've always seen Dansby as a true professional, but then to see someone struggle the way that he has and was at the plate, but how he handled it, that to me speaks volumes to who he is and why he's a leader on this team, because he brings it every single day on defense. I don't really think you ever saw it on his face. I mean, sure, everyone's going to get frustrated, but not in, you know, these outlandish ways on the field did you ever see from him. And then just kind of waiting for it to happen and trusting the work he was putting in. And this is always what he quietly does.
These are some dudes on this list right here. See Ernie Banks, Hall of Famer, Barry Larkin, Hall of Famer. This is some elite company, and Dansby Swanson, not only can he pick it, he also has a knack to be able to drive that baseball. You'd like to see that continued as the calendar turns off and we see Edward Cabrera. We saw him today. That's one thing you do not want to see, the injuries continue to pile up. And today, making a play, last out of the inning, and oof, you see that left hamstring, adductor strain, never what fans are looking for, is especially when you take into consideration the numerous injuries all season long, and it looked as almost if he played first base in another lifetime at least, but as soon as you saw him go down in that heap and try to get up and walk things off, and never a great sign.
This was tough to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Because he couldn't put any weight on it. I mean, he's trying to make it off the field and can't. I had flashbacks of Shota last year, the same thing, covering first base. And then in this situation, I was kind of getting the impression, I don't really think he was trying to do the splits. I think his foot just came out from under him, and that's kind of the result. And then this is where you're just feeling like it's not good. And I think between all the injuries that the Cubs have had this season, it's 16 IL stints and multiple stints for Boyd and Palencia. So that's for just the pitching staff there.
Yeah, as it currently stands, Matthew Boyd, Daniel Palencia, Jameson Tyone, Riley Martin on the shelf. Matthew Boyd, he did have a start with South Bend, 7 punch-outs on Saturday. That's fantastic news. The not so fantastic news, you see all the dudes that are on the 60-day IL. Let's hope that Edward Cabrera will be able to get a little Mr. Miyagi treatment and be right back in the mix. But in the meantime, we'll keep you posted right here on Cubs Postgame Live. Yep, over the apple, draping that lovely W flag. Mets fans, they hate to see that.